No coalitions in Malaysia take manifesto seriously. What do I mean? To have a working manifesto, that process is a lot of negotiations and compromise. So that you use a manifesto to carve, to build a coalition at the voters level with all these compromises. That means a lot of debate has to go on in, and ultimately everyone say, this is the best deal. We don't get everything we want, but this is the best deal we can get. Yes, right, I'm saying that, okay. Manifesto is meant to be a coalition building process. You do horse trading, but you cannot do horse trading at the elite level. You need to go all the way down to the grassroots so people would accept it and say, well, we don't get everything we want, but this is the best deal we can get at this stage. Now, if that message gone down, you would be able to get votes, and after elections, you can implement those promises and consolidate your power. PH did not do that. It left the job to four sort of strategies in the four main parties, and ultimately to one cycle, to carve out something that opinion leaders, people like me, would be very happy. But there was no enough buy-in for all the party grassroots because they don't even know what it is. And out of that is that a cynical attitude that who cares about manifesto? It's only scholars, activists, you know, let's please them, and we never have to get serious. And you want to look at it, Mahathir's only crime or only sin on this matter is honesty. Now, I'm not saying that each and every one of PH leaders was cynical. There were some who were very serious. But no one collectively, no one party collectively take it far enough to ensure all these deals were accepted by partners from the other end of the spectrum. That's why you have so much of conflict. The same thing come back here. For the next election, if PH were to go into, whether PH is going in on its own or with a pact with UMNO, it would need to deal with the manifesto. If it's going in without a serious manifesto, it's going to let down its voters. If you're going in with the last manifesto, you're going to crush the same way, and probably with less vote. Because it has no credibility, people don't believe its ability to carry out that manifesto. What it means is that realistically, you need a revamp of the old manifesto to make it pragmatic enough to be implementable, not only for yourself, but likely for your potential government partners. So if there's going to be a deal with UMNO, what it means is that these two sides would have to agree on certain main policy debate so that they talk similar things, not exactly the same thing. They talk similar things. You talk about different things in a non-contradictive way, so after elections you can come together. If you can't do this, after elections, your opponent's going to use your manifesto against you or against your partner to force the government to collapse. And at some point, people would just give up on all mainstream politicians. They would turn to some outsider politicians, and you have many religious leaders standing at the side, prepared to take that job. And to me, that's the worst that Malaysia can happen. And for peer supporters, they have to live with the fact that if you go back even to 2018 with that high turnout rates of peer supporters, they were still just a minority. They were 48% and not over 50%. Today, they could only be smaller. So, but if they play their game smart enough to make sure their leaders, that's been the PH leaders, to do the job seriously on policy front, and they turn up, the voters turn up as a reward for the party, then PH have a good chance to remain as a senior partner in the next government. But if they give up, or their leaders still want to play a game that is destined to fail, if the voters give up, or their leader insists on playing a game that will not win, then PH fate is either to be a junior partner in the next government or just an opposition.